Hello everyone, TP here, and today I will be ranking the action-packed Season 5. In my opinion, Season 5 is better than Season 4, but it's not as good as Season 3. So Season 5 holds second place. With that being said, let's get into the list. Gordon and the Gremlin. This episode has a confusing plot, and it also has nonsensical definition on gremlins, and there's no clear message at all. And to make matters worse, this episode is more so nothing than the episode above it. I've got nothing else to say on this episode. 4 out of 10. Not bad, but just mediocre. Bah. I'm sorry to the people who like it. If you like it, that's fine. But this is just a nothing episode to me. This random ram is whatever, I guess. And the music was alright. But it was just a nothing episode for me. 4 out of 10. Thomas and the Rumors. This episode has two plots which aren't connected until the last 40 seconds of the episode. Okay. Yeah, this was a boring episode. But the only reason I put it above the other two is because the crash was actually good. So, I'll say it was alright, at least. 5 out of 10. Toby's Discovery. The nighttime shots were great, and the music is great. The sets are gorgeous. And Toby being a coward in broad daylight is backwards, and the biggest coin to throw the episode downward is Bertram being a one-off. I don't like that. If Bertram was used in the show more, I would have put this episode a lot higher, but because he doesn't appear in the episode, because he doesn't appear in the show again, I have to put it down here. I'm sorry, but this is still a decent episode, 6 out of 10. Make someone happy. There's no plot in this episode, and it just kind of goes all over the place. But the ending was good. Not much else to say. 6 out of 10. Lady Hat's Birthday Party. The lines from Topham, like, bother, bother, were funny, but nothing else was any funnier. Even if it tried to make me laugh, it just didn't. It was still good, though. 7 out of 10. Sir Topham Hatt's Holiday. This is the better Topham episode in my opinion. And it does try to make you laugh, but like Lady Hat's Birthday Party, it just doesn't to me. Still a good episode though. 8 out of 10. A Better View for Gordon. Great crash, but it was a bit boring though. I honestly don't have much else to say on this episode. Say 8 out of 10. Thomas, Percy, and Old Slow Coach. Good ending and good music, and great scene with James and the tankers catching fire, but like Make Someone Happy, the story just kind of feels all over the place to me. But still, it was really good though. 8 out of 10. Double Teething Troubles. Great music, and Bill and Ben are good in this episode, but I wish Derek wasn't a one-off. And honestly, I don't like that, but one thing why I put this above Toby's Discovery is because Derek is actually an interesting character. Yeah, Bertram was an interesting character, but he didn't even speak. Bro didn't even speak. Derek actually has a couple lines of dialogue. And so I guess that's an improvement. I don't know, but still, this is a good episode with some funny moments. 8 out of 10. Horrid Lori. It's hilarious knowing how all three lorries just crash or malfunction somehow. The crash with the second lorry was great, and the music was great as well. A really good episode. 8 out of 10. A Surprise for Percy. The runaway was great, but the episode felt a bit boring to me. But nonetheless, it was still really good. 8 out of 10. Something in the Air. I wish Henry didn't get blamed in the end. Hashtag justice for old square wheels. Definitely didn't steal that from Usual Bloke. Anyway, the setup was great, and the crash was great. This was another really good episode, but I think Haunted Henry is miles better. 8 out of 10. Oliver's Find. The nighttime visuals in this episode are great, and it has a great crash, and like the one at the beginning and one near the end, where like when Oliver finds the old rundown station. Both crashes were great, but the moral at the end was a bit forced and a bit clunky to me. Well, I guess it was to me anyway. But still, this is a great episode. 9 out of 10. Snow. Great music, great crash, great scene with Gordon getting stuck in the snow near the tunnel. But but how come Skarloey never spoke in the episode? Like, only his driver speaks throughout the story that Rusty tells Thomas. Like, eh, eh, I don't know. But still, this episode was great for the music, the crash, and its funny moment with Gordon. 9 out of 10. Stepney gets lost. It's great to see Stepney again, and the scene with him at the smelter shed was excellent. But I had to put it down here because the ending felt a bit anticlimactic. If the ending wasn't that anticlimactic, then I would have put it like somewhere at like 5 or 4 or something. But still, I have to put it down here because of the anticlimactic ending. Still a great episode though, 9 out of 10. Duncan gets spooked. Okay, I'm gonna get my protection gear because I know y'all are gonna shoot me in the face. So, just before you shoot me, let me explain. The spooky stuff is great. No, scratch that. It is fantastic. In fact, I could describe it in like 10 out of 10 words. But to be honest, the Peter Sam stuff just didn't really matter to me, and I wish it could have opened up with something different. And to top it all, I wish he could have gotten a follow-up story in Season 6 where he gains the Fat Controller's trust. But still, it's still a fantastic episode for the spooky stuff, which managed to save the episode for me. 10 out of 10. Toby and the Flood. This is the most intense episode of the season. Toby almost about to die was genuinely frightening. Like, we're literally seeing an old steam tram float towards his death. This is awesome. And you really do hope that Toby gets saved in the end. 10 out of 10. I love this episode. But, of course, there are more episodes that I love more than this one. Haunted Henry. Oh, yes, the Better Henry episode. Great atmosphere, great spooky visuals, as Season 5 is known for. And a fantastic crash. In fact, Henry's crashes in this season were both just as fantastic as each other. Like, this episode is just so awesome. I can praise so much, like, for the atmosphere, the music. Everything in this episode is just excellent. 10 out of 10. By George. Okay, let me explain why I put it up here. It's got some funny moments, of course. Even the line, "You're a useless boo puffball," got me chuckling. And both crashes with Thomas and Gordon were great, especially Gordon's crash with, well, like the one with him slamming into the truck, blasting it off into midair, and landing in pieces. That was both hilarious and incredible. I loved it. Like, I'm giving this episode a 10 out of 10 just for that moment. It's basically just my favorite. It's probably my second favorite moment in Season 5. And as I said, 10 out of 10. A fantastic episode. I honestly wish people loved this more. James and the Trouble with Trees. This episode has some really funny moments, including, "Your color's nice, James. Pity about your face, though." That cracked me up of how James got roasted by a truck. It's incredible, it's entertaining, I love it. And don't get me started on the scene with the tree. Oh my god. It was so intense, and I love it. I especially loved how they did the camera work, and the fact that you just get jump scared by James's face up close. Of course, it doesn't really jump scare me, considering I've seen the episode like 1,000 times already. But it was such a clever twist. 10 out of 10. Happy Ever After. Okay, again, let me explain why I put this up here. If you don't like it, that's fine. But I think this was a very sweet episode. And it's also got some funny moments in it. But mainly it's just a very sweet episode. Like, I like what Percy has is just setting out to do. I like that he asks Edward of all characters for for like what a good luck package is. Reminds me of their dynamic back in season 1. That is something I really enjoy, and I will always love that scene where Percy just talks to Edward about what a good luck package is. It's just really nice. and that's why I'm giving this episode a 10 out of 10. Like by George, I wish more people loved this just as much as that episode. Put upon Percy. The best Percy episode of the season, in my opinion. Percy in this episode is great. The other characters were handled greatly as well. Oh, and the mine collapse. I'm just gonna say it right off the bat. Well, not right off the bat, considering we're so far into the video now. But I'm just gonna say this right up front. This is my favorite moment from Season 5 as a whole. Possibly the entire show, even. While there are 3 more episodes that are a lot better than this one, this episode just features my favorite moment from this season. And again, maybe the entire show. I don't know, but the camera shaking when we're inside the mine, like, the camera shaking, you do really feel that intense, you do really get that shivering feeling that the mine is literally about to collapse. And possibly killing the trucks inside. Like, Jesus Christ. Man, I love this episode. And as a matter of fact, to make things worse, Percy gets buried alive in an avalanche. Oh my god. This episode is just fantastic. 10 out of 10. Rusty and the Boulder. This episode may be unrealistic, but it's just played out so well. The boulder chasing the engines was fantastic to see, as well as the music. Like, oh my god, the chase music in general is just so chilling. I love it. As well as Boulder's theme that does get used in the next 2 seasons, and I honestly wish it was used more. As like a sad theme used in like CGI or something. But still, I'm happy it was used, like, for the next 2 I'm happy it was used for the rest of the classic era. Like, you look me in the eye and tell me something like a giant, perfectly round rock destroying everything in its path, ending with a little green saddle tank engine, being right next to a giant explosion. I can't even think of any other words to say about this episode. It's incredible. 10 out of 10. I love this one. Cranky Bugs. Okay, let me explain. This episode is my second favorite episode of the entire show, while Rusty and the Boulder is my third favorite of the entire show. Cranky Bugs, as I was rewatching it, it was incredible. I loved it from start to end. Like, at the start, we get, like, an industrial, at the start, we get, like, you get that industrial feeling of the engines being busy at the docks. While we get to meet Cranky, and we do get to know a bit about him, as we see him as just either a joker, or a bossy prick, or I don't know, he just doesn't get blamed. And can I just mention how his face looks in the storm? He just looks like he doesn't even care. Like, maybe he's worried inside, but it just looks like he doesn't care. And it's just very neutral with it. And Cranky, this would have been the only chance for you to sleep, but I guess you could see why. I guess I can see why he didn't sleep that night, because, well, yeah, the obvious happened. Like, with the ship crashing straight into the sheds where some of our favorite characters are, like Henry, James, Duck, and Gordon. Oh my god. That is just frightening. And the storm sequence in general is just awesome, aside from a bit of stock footage, but I don't care about that. This episode is just fantastic. I love it from start to end. I love it. I love Cranky. I love the ship running aground straight into the sheds, knocking Cranky over, causing so much okay, let's just move on. 10 out of 10. This is just a fantastic episode. My second favorite of the show. But I think my number one favorite might be my actual favorite in the entire show. I don't know, maybe leaning more towards this one. I don't know. Busy going backwards. I'm just gonna say right up front, this is my favorite episode of the entire show. It sticks out to me like a sore thumb. And the William Tell Overture remix that the Boulder theme is used for the rest of the classic series. Well, for this season and season 6, they just used the standard Runaway theme. But for season 7, they only used the William Tell Overture, which I wish they used the regular Runaway theme. But I mean, we do get a bit of the actual normal Runaway theme in the William Tell remix. But still, in this episode, it is just incredible. It is incredible. I love it. And the Runaway itself is just fantastic. I love it from start to end. And Toad's situation, I guess, I mean, Toad's situation makes it very relatable because brake vans are, like, if brake vans face the back, like if they're facing from the opposite way an engine is facing, then I can see where Toad is coming from with this. Because brake vans often travel backwards to, depending if the face is on the opposite side. But yeah, this episode is just fantastic from start to end. 10 out of 10. And that is my ranking list for Season 5. Oh boy, the first 5 seasons of Thomas were a definite blast for me personally. Like, Seasons 3 to 5 were especially great. But, honestly, I don't think any other season are as good. I don't think any other season will be as good as Seasons 3 to 5. Because those seasons were just incredible. I loved them. Like, of course they have their duds and they're not perfect, but that's just what makes it. But sometimes we could just look over that and just focus on the good that happens in these episodes. I just love this I love season 5. Like, I consider it to be my, and as I said at the beginning, I consider this to be my second favorite season of the entire show. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this ranking video, and I'll see you all when I get to season 6. Bye bye.